Stand for the prayer and pledge.
Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Thy will be done. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Hancock County Commission in order this September 5th, 2013, on a Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Before I go anywhere more, I'd like to address the other two commissioners and the folks out there, and I'd like to make a recommendation to the commission. And we've had a lot of discussions, and we haven't really sat down and talked about it. We saw a lot of things about the Knoll football field, the memorial up there. We've talked to a lot of people about that. You know, they were going to put it down at the American Legion. There was an artist here wanting to take it and move it and do some things. We've had a lot of things going on there. I would recommend to the county commission that we leave the memorial there intact the way it is right this very moment. We tell Mr. Ustock not to tear that down. And then see what happens coming in the future. We will keep it. We'll maintain it. If a business owner comes by and has to have that piece of property, then we'll go back and see if we can move it to the Legion or over there to Laurel Park, or put it across the street, or put it right there on the corner. But for right now, man, I'd make that recommendation. We go to Mr. Ustock and say we just leave that right there the way it is until everything can be worked out and we see where we're at.
I'm fine with that.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, this commission, from day one, we had said we would do what the citizens of Knoll wanted us to do. That's when we contacted Mr. Klein from the Legion, and that's when the local artists came to us, and there was really no movement on it. That's why we sort of proceed with demolition. But in light of recent events, I agree 100% with you, and let's just wait and hold off and see what the future brings.
And we have had at least two potential persons or companies who would like to maybe purchase that property. And the one has said they'd work with us on it. The other one, we haven't talked to them about it. So I think for now, we let Mr. Ustock know that we just leave it right there. And we maintain it, we keep ownership of it, and we see where we're going in the future.
Do we need to rope off or paint off any section you want left ahead of time?
We're talking just a memorial and the steps going up to it. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yep.
Steps in the room.
I did talk to Mr. Klein and talked to, he was kind of, well, let's see what we're going to do. Because before he was going to take the markers and take them up there to the Legion, but he hadn't said anything yet. So, that's where I think we're at right now. We just tell Mr. Ustock to leave that there.
Bob, do you want to communicate that with Rob, or I can do it?
Either one.
Okay.
So why don't you make that motion?
Move to approve your request.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Citizens presentation. Anyone make a citizen presentation today?
Hi, I'm Mike Nixon, and very impressed. We had our rally up there over the wall, and I have some petitions here. We got 300 names, signatures, and I'm very proud of the people that came out and worked with us and all that. And the people from Knoll said they believe that they was entitled to equal representation. And today you have showed a part of that, and that is fantastic. Some of the members of the school up there, when that field was first built, my parents were one of them, or some of them, and so was other parents. They're the ones, and I'm proud of them, because when they was in school up there, at intermission, they would come out. They raked that dirt and shoveled the stones. They moved that to build that foundation. And during this episode, when we had our rally, you should have come up and seen it, because it was beautiful. I cleaned the place up. I got 7 flags. I put them up. It's a beautiful sight. I've also been contacted by a lot of organizations that I didn't even know existed, and there is places out there that will come in and rebuild the memorial and all that, and there's even been a cry from the federal part of the War Administration, and they're not too happy, so, but like I said, the people in Newell, not one organization, want their wall. Yeah, and I'm very impressed in what you've done today, and I'm very proud of you guys today too. But we want that wall, and we want that little piece of land deeded to Newell, and we're probably not gonna stop till we get that done. And another thanks, great thanks to Marilyn Gibbous, because she's the one that drawed up my petitions. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mike, if I could, now as far as you mentioned, you would like to see that property deeded over to Newell.
Correct.
Not sure that there's several entities in Newell, but I think the concern of the commission, the land belongs to the commission right now. As long as the land stays in the hands of the commission and that memorial is intact, I wouldn't see a reason to deed it anyplace else.
Well,
Because we have insurance issues there,
right.
and it's under the county's policy now.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But what would the future administration do to that if the county owns it? That's Newell's memorial, and those people up there are dead set on it. They said, that is ours, and we want it, and there's no reason it cannot be deeded to Newell. And
When you say no who? No who?
Well, there's a lot of organizations, but the community of Newell, all that is wording on a deed, Dan. But you know, Jeff, that the Newell Civic Council has insurance, and it would cover that portion of it. And there'd be other organizations out there that might be willing to cover that. This thing's just basically getting started, and people are just now, just within a little under a week, I've had a tremendous response from everywhere. And not just from the community of Newell.
Well, that's why I threw that out there, because I know the community of Newell has their identity, but as far as them having ownership, it would have to be some other group, not Newell per se. And just to let you know up front, if an entity took possession of that, they'd have to make sure that they carry some sort of coverage if we ever
Yeah.
get that far down the road.
Yeah, and like I said, we do have the coverage, but there's several organizations, the community of Newell, Fire Department, Legion, Lions, the churches, the Civic Council, the Coalition, all those represent Newell.
When you mentioned that there are groups that have interest in if it was ever moved to rebuild that, what particular, did you say something to that
Not
effect?
moved, no. They're, I guess it's online, and there's federal agencies that will come in and restore the war memorial. In other words, I'm not saying that the county would have to come up with any money. We can get this thing restored in no time at all.
Okay.
And the Civic Council's willing to take on the electric bill, and, so a lot of these problems are really not problems. I mean, they can be solved very easily.
Okay.
And like you said, again, I'm very proud of you guys today, what you did. Thank you.
Yep.
Correspondence, David Klein, taxpayer. Request the Hancock County Commission promulgate rules and regulations for the operation of the Hancock County Animal Shelter.
I move to make that a matter of record.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. County Commission, approval bid for the renovation of the courthouse to include the secure main front entrance.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Dog Warden, requesting approval of the monthly reports for July and August 2013.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Office of Technology and Communication. requesting approval for the installation of a satellite phone antenna to the courthouse. Mr. Vitus.
Basically, Mr. Commissioner, this request is to give us a backup communication method with First Energy. First Energy will pay for the antenna and the installation. We will be responsible for power to the antenna if it needs it and picking a place to put it.
I'll accept a motion.
So move.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Request approval to enter into contract with Laudamus Communications and Security for a new microwave backbone system.
This is step one. Step one takes care of the northern part of the county. This backbone is being done to upgrade the T1 communication between Chester and the courthouse. This will aid in transferring of 911 calls to fire departments and everyone else. It's a more modern piece of equipment. It will replace the T1 lines, which in the last few years have had to have several repairs done for things like animals eating parts of them and everything else.
Squirrels.
Okay.
Accept the motion.
Question. What's the cost of our agreement with Laudamus, Mr. Vitus?
The exact numbers I don't have with me right now. This actually becomes a cheaper expense in about 3 years after we pay for the part of the installation. I can get you those numbers in a few minutes.
Are we into is this going to be on a monthly contract, a yearly fee?
I believe we have the option of going yearly, but I think it's a monthly contract.
And it's a 3-year contract?
Yeah, the initial piece. Yeah. The intent is eventually is to include another microwave link to the southern half of the county, to include the Weirton and replace those T1 lines also. This is just an effort to start here where we're having more problems right now.
And payment is going to come from 911 or the commission, or a combination?
Combination right now. Then strictly 911.
And then strictly 911.
Before our meeting is over, could you give us that dollar amount if you have
Sure.
it?
You want the monthly for this piece?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get through the next two and I'll be good.
We'll skip that. Requesting approval of software system incorporated maintenance contract and upgrade the AS400 IBM system.
The AS400 runs most of our courthouse functions, the tax office, sheriff's office, everything else. As IBM typically does, when they do new releases of operating systems after a certain period, they end support on the existing system. Our system right now is at that point. We can continue with the system we have and pay a penalty fee in addition to our current maintenance fee, or we can increase this one-time cost by buying additional storage to upgrade this system onto, and then we will be good for another 2 to 3 years before we hit the period where we are no longer supported.
I'll accept the motion.
Move to approve the request.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Requesting approval to hire part-time dispatchers to the E911 Center. And they are Ms. Jessica Plum, Mr. Jonathan Berlitich, Ms. Paige Dalrymple, and Mr. Clinton Shawn as part-time dispatchers. And I was requesting that 2 additional candidates remain open for hire until the end of the year in the event that one of the above candidates does not pass the official period or decides not to accept the offer.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. We'll come back to Mr. Vitus here in a little bit here. Sheriff's Office, oh, there he is. Requesting approval of SRT Special Fund projects in the amount of $4,100 to purchase training and munition.
As we've discussed in the past, we have a line item we'd like to have moved to, for SRT training funds. Anyways, this is a portion of that money. Due to the problems we're having in many areas for getting ammunition, with your knowledge, I went ahead and ordered some ammunition, anticipating that it may take longer than it took you to approve special projects. So since the special projects hasn't actually been approved yet, I'm looking to dip into it before and maybe push you along.
Like prod?
Prod's good.
Is that a good word?
Yeah, that's good.
Move to approve the request, since prodded.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Request approval of the request for Mr. William Geibel for a leave of absence under FMLA guidelines effective August 15th, 2013.
Everything in order there?
Yes.
No concern. Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Requesting approval to hire part-time employees for the purpose of courtroom bailiffs and courthouse security. They are James Bernadetto, Richard Chutone, Thomas Dotson, Joseph Gala, Jimmy George, Ron Haggerty, John Phillips, David Popish, Richard Sherinsky, Timothy Wanzak, and Denzel Wilson.
There's a lot of experience there, isn't there, Sheriff?
I hate to try to add up all those years, but
Yeah,
yes,
it's-
it's a great deal of experience. I'm quite pleased. with-
Hundreds of years?
Hundreds, easily. Well, I can look at a couple that might get close to that on their own. That's a joke. I'm real pleased with the way this project's starting to open up and turn out. It's just that I was concerned with the interest we would have, and I don't want to say I'm overwhelmed, but I'm just really pleased that this many people are interested in coming to work for us part-time. The reason why I put this on the agenda so quickly, it seems quickly since we don't have everything else in place yet, I have a training seminar coming up in October. And during that period of time, they will need to be on our books so that we can pay them and also take care of some whatever expenses we have. So I need to get these people on board now as far as actually being under the canopy of the county employees, and that way we can move them through this training in the school in Charleston a little easier.
Sheriff, do you have plans of bringing them all on at one time? Since our courthouse entrance is not going to be completed for several months.
Every one of them. They're just going to work less hours until we get up to moving. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we only have so many hours that we're going to be able to utilize them anyway. So we'll spread it out as much as we can,
Mhm.
so that that way they can get more experience with this particular courthouse and what we're expected of them, and then at least they'll all be involved to some degree, at least watching the courthouse renovations expand and be there, and yeah, so I believe it'll be a lot easier transition. Again, they'll make a lot less hours when you split it up that few hours with that many people, and then it'll take off a little bit better once we get moving with the entrance.
And they'll all be armed?
Yes, yes.
That's been a question out in the public, and I told them I believe so, and they were happy to hear that.
Wouldn't do it any other way.
Right.
Couldn't do it any other way.
I'll accept that motion.
Move to approve the request as presented.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Mr. Vitus, back to number 2.
Okay, first year's maintenance is $3,364. In years 2 through 5, because he's given us a 10-year plan, which is the best, it drops to $1,695. So years 2 through 5, it's dropped in half. Years 6 through 10, it drops again by half to $850 a year, or $70 a month.
Okay, very good. Move to approve?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it.
A question, Bob?
Yes.
So what's the total cost?
Through all the years,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to add these up real quick.
No, it's, okay, never mind. I just thought, years ago, when we looked into this, I thought it wasn't attainable. It was so expensive, so.
Our portion of this appears to be around $19,000.
That's good.
Okay, thank you.
Approval of probates and estates.
Recommend approval as to form.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of exoneration orders.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of general county bills.
$44,075.70. The P-card payments is $31,733.74.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the ayes have it. Fire allocation bills and requisitions.
They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the ayes have it. Library levy fund bills and requisitions.
Okay to pay also.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the ayes have it. Animal shelter levy fund bills and requisitions.
I have none.
Sheltered workshop bills and
I have
requisitions.
none.
None of those. Sheriff, anything else you'd like to bring to our attention today? Thank you. Mr. Fahey.
Nothing today, sir.
Cindy, it's your next to the last meeting, you know that.
Yes, I do.
I don't know if I can ever look over there and not see you. It's gonna be kind of, I'm gonna leave that seat open. I never let
Okay.
anybody take your seat, I don't
Put a little
think.
sign here.
Yeah. Mr. Alonji? Mr. Jones?
Yes, I have one thing. Tonight is our annual siren test at 6:15 this evening. The sirens will be sounded for the 3 minutes. Just another reminder. It's been in the newspaper and different things, but somebody will inevitably will say, oh, I didn't catch the memo. But again, it's at 6:15 tonight. It's our yearly test.
Yearly siren test.
Ms. Huff, anything good for the good of the order?
Everything's good at the health department.
Yeah.
We're coming into the flu season, so just putting it out there, flu's starting to arrive. So.
Mr. Smith, our cameraman, who serves on many, many committees, you have anything to say today?
Nothing.
Okay. Mr. Vitus?
Yes, sir.
George?
Nothing.
Mr. Schwartzman?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Davis?
One question, back to the, under County Commission new business approval of the bid for the renovation of the courthouse. Gentlemen, I believe that we know what the cost is, but is it $108,000?
Roughly 108 for both pieces, for the doorway and everything, and the new extended porch, so that people have a place to stand outside.
Just the bricks and mortars roughly is $108,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
The only other thing I'd like to mention for the motorcycle enthusiast out there, that on the 14th of September, the United Way Poker Run will take place, and be leaving Fairfield behind DJ's on Three Springs at noon on the 14th, which is a Saturday. So if the weather's nice, I would encourage, for all you motorcyclists out there that I see, maybe the sheriff, show up. And that's all. Thank you.
And don't forget that weekend's also the Hancock County Old Time Fair, so you won't miss that one. Having nothing further, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.